the overhead assistance is my go-to, if you like. This movement is giving me assistance to overhead so I can work on my scapulo-humeral rhythm. Okay. Now this is the one way I found how to do it. This is without doing the protection thing which we talked about before. Okay, this is just doing, can I get help my brain work out a 2-to-1 ratio without having to lift up and cause impingement problems if I've got a weak rotator cuff or something. Something I can work on concurrently with all my scapular and shoulder work. Okay, so this probably needs to be a bit higher. I'll go up here. So this band needs to be tight enough that I'm sort of suspended up here. I'm getting held up, if you like. Have it even higher if you like, so I'm really getting held up. So up, way up over there. Now, what I want is I want to start down here. Make sure it doesn't hit your face. Now, I want to tell that person this shoulder blade needs to stay down while you slowly let that come up. I'm not lifting, I'm actually holding down. So I'm controlling that movement. So it gives me a better chance. I'm not going to fire, my upper trap's turned off, I'm not going to fire this up and do this. It gives me a chance to keep that stable and give them awareness of a stable scapula not abducting while my arm is abducting to 60 degrees. So now from 60 degrees, I want you to let your shoulder blade come up, and if you may have to cue them, say, I want you to lift it up when your hand goes up. When your hand gets pulled up, lift your shoulder. At least they do the elevation part, okay, which will help them with it. There's my dodgy shoulder. Lift them up like that. So when they are at the top, their hand is at the top, they're lifted up. Now to get the abduction part of that is all your serratus work you've been doing. But if you want to put it into a pattern of movement, you've got to cue them. You've got to say, as your hand goes out, follow your shoulder. Think about your hand pulling your shoulder blade out with it. Teach them where their shoulder blade is. Think about their hand, because what do you want that shoulder blade to do? I want it to do that. I want it to abduct away from the spine. The shoulder blade's got to follow that, and then it goes up in an arc, and it just actually follows that arm. It rotates. Just like a big rotation I've got here, a big circle, so does the shoulder blade do that. It just does it at a slower rate, and does it at a 1 degree for every 2 here. Right? And the same thing when you pull down. When you pull out, I want this to pull down and think about pulling it in. So the whole idea is to try and see if you can tap into their brain, if you like, to control a movement that is very automatic normally.